Good evening everyone, and for the first time in 2022, welcome along to League Racing TV, welcome along to TTML F2, here for Season 6, Round number 7 of the Championship, the first one in 2022 for the Canadian Grand Prix at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. My name is James Hay, going to be taking you to the stream through, of course, the next hour and a half, and joining me in the commentary box, it is Mr. Pepsi Freak. Pepsi, how you doing?
I'm doing perfectly well. This is basically a home circuit for myself. It's the closest one geographically to me, even though I'm American. So it should put on a good show. But the one thing the drivers will have to watch out for is, considering they just had a nice Christmas, a nice New Year, they had a 2-week break, and now they're trying to get back in the swing of things. This track can sneak up on you with corner cut and pedaling, so that could be the boogeyman for a lot of drivers here today.
It definitely will, and especially coming off a Christmas break, you wouldn't think of Canada being the first round back, would you? Honestly, it is one of those tracks where the drivers are really going to struggle, I think, and obviously we'll get into that in due course. But I'd just like to pay tribute before we begin going through the standings and everything to Mads Abbey. You might not know him. NSX Mads. He raced in LOE, he raced in FRL and Nordic E-Racing, and sadly we learned of his passing just on Tuesday, and it was an absolute tragedy to hear of his passing. And from all of us here, of course, at TTML, we'd like to send our heartfelt condolences and sincere thoughts to his friends, his family, and to everyone at the NSX team. So just to get that out there, we are thinking of you all here from the TTML family. But we are here, of course, for the action tonight in terms of Canada. My second commentary back, so if I sound a bit croaky, then it's probably because I've got a sore throat, knowing that it is only my second stream back. And looking through the standings, actually, let's go through them. Ference out on top on 176 points. Jona in second. Jorg, in second at 105. Simply Superman in third on 89. Ference, he can't wrap up the championship today, can he?
Well, there's 7, 8, 9, 10, so it would be, knowing TTL points, isn't it 30 for a max? So that would be 120 points you'd have to be clear of in order to clinch. So he'd have to be 120 clear. So there is a possibility. You said it was, what didn't you say it was 130, if I'm not mistaken? So there is a chance, but he's got to be on his A game, as they would say.
Yeah, I put the count at 71 points, I think, is the gap between Ference and Jorg. Only 3 rounds of the championship to go, barring fastest laps as well. It's 90 points, is what I'm thinking. So if Jorg doesn't finish, Ference can wrap up the title here tonight if Jorg doesn't finish, and that's what he's probably going to be relying on more than anything else. And of course, Ference has actually had a name change. It is now not TTG Ference, as you've seen in the lobby. It is FBR Ference. He has joined the FBR team, the Spanish outfit, of course. There, running through the rest of the standings as well. Volokongan in 4th on 82. Jona in 5th on 80. That needs a name update as well. It is QRT Jona now on 80 points in 5th. Neymar in 6th on 62. Break FN in 7th on 54. David Charhood in 8th on 50. Tom in 9th on 48. Along with Dresse rounding off the top 10. Tionis, Noisy, Tionis, Nicholas, Tibos, Nathan Clark are the top 15. Frankie, who has also joined FBR, F1 AMG, Taze Leroy, Chris and Tomboy are the 20 drivers that are filling out the top 20 positions in the standings. And obviously we've already spoken about Ference and Jorg. Looking further down the field, quite an interesting battle for third developing. Simply Superman Siona covered by 9 points.
Yeah, that is a very close battle indeed. And it's definitely something interesting to kind of watch out for, because it's relatively close between Volvacon and that. And again, we saw Volvacon was pretty strong a couple rounds ago. Simply Superman always seems to be kind of hit or miss. Some rounds he's good, some rounds he struggles. So we'll see if Canada either is a good round or a down round. So you got Volvacon as the more consistent, like maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th driver. Well, you got Superman will get a podium every couple weeks, and then we'll end up finishing near the tail end of the points every other week. So it's going to be a battle of consistency versus hitting missing. So we just see who takes that 3rd spot with so many rounds to go. And even then, you still got a few drivers in the coattails like Jona, who definitely one to watch out for with his pace. And even if they start slipping, Neymar, Break, and Shawhook could even catch up as well.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, Jona, I've been really impressed in terms of his pace. He's 5th coming into tonight, 80 points in the McLaren. Volokongan just ahead of him, 2 points ahead in 4th position. Simply Superman's 3rd, 9 points ahead of him. So Jona can get 3rd possibly here tonight if he outscores Simply Superman and Volokongan in terms of the positions. But looking at the constructor standings as well before we begin tonight, of course it was the Russian Grand Prix before we came to Canada this week. Alfa Romeo on 188 points leading the way, and they've they've relied solely really on Ference to pick up a majority of those points. AlphaTauri probably the more consistent team in second on 152, Haas in third on 130, Williams in fourth on 116, Ferrari fifth on 104, Red Bull in sixth on 84, McLaren in seventh on 80, Mercedes in eighth on 73, Aston Martin ninth on 47, and Alpine in 10th on 13 points. Quickly, because I can see everyone now readying up, Alfa Romeo have got around a 36-point advantage to AlphaTauri, but AlphaTauri have been the more consistent team in terms of both their cars finishing in the points.
It's really been a kind of a 2-against-1 situation, because you got to remember that Alfa Romeo, as I would say, they didn't really have that consistent second driver for the longest time, because they had one, and then he sadly had to go to reserve. And even now, they don't have a second driver officially there. So week in and week out, it's always going to be a reserve driver for the Alfa Romeo. So week in and week out, Fairness is going to have a new teammate. Sometimes it'll be this, like Clark today. Other times it'll be someone else. But with AlphaTauri, they have consistently 2 drivers in Noisy and York, and they're always going to be here. So it's going to remind an Alfa Romeo to have, if it's just going to come down to the luck of the draw, whoever signs up for that reserve lot first may get that seat, and that may help the Alfa Romeo team, or it may hurt Fairness in that case. So it's kind of a wait-and-see situation.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Nathan Clark is alongside Ference tonight, if I'm not mistaken. He's actually picking up some points so far this season. Reserve in 15th position on 35 points. I'd be hoping to try and get some points, I think, for the Alfa Romeo team. If not, AlphaTauri could well end themselves up in a position where they're going to be trying to lead the team standings going in towards next week, of course. But with only 3 rounds to go in the championship, all to play for, we are, of course, here in Canada, freshly squeezed out of the gun barrel, and now we are here, of course, in Montreal for 4.3 kilometres and 2.7 miles around the 14 turns that this track holds around. And of course, it is around a man-made island as well in the centre of Montreal, with the Droit de Casino, Virage, Senna, and the Wall of Champion Chicane all to boot. And it's beautiful blue skies and sunshine. That's exactly what we like to see.
Well, you like to see it. Sometimes, again, you like some chaos. I'd like to see some rain every once in a while, and this is a track that could provide it, but it looks like it's just going to be a very nice, dry day for qualifying, and I wouldn't be shocked if it also follows during the race. But 2 things to note. 1, you can't hit the wall champions unless you're a champion, and 2, looking at some footage around this track when people bike around it, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to see, so it is a really good circuit for visiting and actually good racing, so hopefully that provides some good racing here today.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, I haven't got a passport, so I can't even go to this Grand Prix in real life. But the first cars are leading the grid. I think it's a Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken. That is first. There's Break FN leaving the pit lane first. I'm not sure what has happened, by the way, in terms of my graphics, but my graphics seems to have got a lot better since, obviously, the Christmas break came along. No new TV or anything. It just looks so much better in terms of the picture. Don't know why. Break FN, though, is coming in towards the end of the first sector, and he's actually, of course, a former TTML driver last season F1, so he's got experience around this track, and he's got some very good pace when he shows it.
Yeah, he does have some good pace. We've seen him kind of the past couple of weeks. He was kind of outshone by his Ferrari teammate who was a reserve in the Dutch GP, and he's got okay pace, so definitely one to watch out for. He's usually a 6-7 driver, but if he can find that good form, he can definitely be up there a little bit more as he goes a little bit wide and get some of the marbles off the track there. And he'll be the kind of the cleaner of the track as he'll start his lap relatively soon here, and he'll kind of set the tone for the rest. And again, it's a case of, because it's so easy to cut, how aggressive do you want to be? In first lap, do you want to put down a banker that's competitive but maybe not the fastest, or go all out to get that good time?
Probably all out, I would think, to be honest, from Break FN's perspective. I mean, he nearly hit the Wall of Champion Chicane on the exit onto his lap, and now coming across the line to start off this lap around the Canadian circuit, coming through turn 1, and then through the right-hander, of course, of turn 2, and then in towards eventually what we like to call Vettel and Hamilton corner through 3 and 4. Of course, they came together. Obviously, Vettel coming across in front of Hamilton. Honey Badger has already crashed, and actually Break FN nearly goes for a spin coming through the end of the first sector as well. Gets out of the way of one of the Mercedes, so we'll hop on board now with Neymar, who was in behind.
I was going to say, odd spot for Honey Badger to crash. I was kind of looking off at turn 1 there. Kind of just very odd place. Looks like he just kind of got off the side and just kind of lost it. So very odd place to spin. But I think Neymar also invalidated as well. So another driver that's backing down his lap here.
Yeah, very weird place where Honey Badger's actually crashed. Just trying to pick up on board. Neymar is invalidated on his lap. Nicholas on a set of medium compounded tyres, which is quite interesting. Ferrance is also on a lap. We're going board with Nicholas. I think he's going to be one of the first to come across the line, possibly to set a lap. 41.4 through the middle sector, actually bettered by somebody in behind him. I think that was Volakongan bettering him through the middle sector. And he's actually going to get a very neat tow running down the straight. And obviously teammates might just feel that necessary. There is an Alfa Romeo around. I think that might be Nathan Clark that is around, if I'm not mistaken. But Nicholas now coming through in toward the wall of champion chicane through 13 and 14. I've spun quite a few times coming through there. His break FN goes quickest, 117.1, but Nicholas is going to better that time. It's a 109.9 on that set of mediums. Volakongan even betters that by 9/10 on that set of soft compounder tyre. We should be seeing, I think, lap times in and around the 108, I think.
Yeah, I think 108 is definitely something you can see by the end here. Is now Noise is going to put down a lap here. Gets a relatively okay line. He's on a set of mediums. It's going to be a 109. It's going to be a 109.492. So that will be the fastest of the mediums right now. And there goes Nathan Clark on a set of mediums. Splits Nicholas and Noisy. Seeing if anyone else is on a run. I think it's Pyro's coming through the last couple of corners here, along with the Alfa Romeo. If I want to say Fairness, but Pryor just invalidated, so here comes Fairness, and he's also invalidated, and he hits the wall of champions. So may have a little bit of damage there as he's backing it down. So we'll see if he can put down another competitive time.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yona is quickest though in the middle sector. We'll see what he's doing now, coming through 13 and 14, and now on the run to the line. This could be the first one away to the night. Yona coming across the line, comfortably the first one away to the night. 108.828, 2/10 of a second ahead of Volakongan, and with 5 minutes nearly gone in qualifying, Yona out on top, Volakongan second, Jonas in third. Yona, you've already ruined my new year, by the way, by saying rain is coming.
Yes. I mean, oh no, chaos. But anyway. Yeah, just one thing I'm watching is a lot of drivers have invalidated at least one attempt here at the very least. I mean, you could probably name a handful of drivers. I'd probably say 5, 6 drivers have already kind of struggled already. And then something kind of, again, we know corner kind of could be a little bit of a pain here, so it's something to keep a note on. Is now Neymar goes P3 with a 109.134 to his name. And we do see some other drivers going around, but the question is, some of those medium runners, will we see them take a chance on a set of softs, or maybe hold on and try to stay on their mediums?
Yeah, Neymar went third, but Taze Leroy on the set of mediums, 109.3, that was on his second lap on that set of mediums as well. So obviously he's trying to play the longer game. These tyres will warm up as the session goes along. Obviously he's not on a down lap now, but Taze Leroy fourth. Watch out for him, he's got a very quick qualifying in him, and a 109.3 on the set of mediums. What, you're going to be improving good to 8/10 to a second, I would think, in terms of a medium to a set of soft run. So Taze Leroy, in theory, could be ending up mid 108s.
That is a choice, Taylor, especially if he switches over, but will he again? Because we do know there's a couple fast drivers, some put times down. Fairness is one of them, for instance, along with a few others. So he may be forced to switch, but we definitely know he's got some pace in that Alpine car. So definitely, actually, no, Williams, sorry. I got mixed by the Blues there. So it's something definitely to keep an eye on as I'm trying to see if anyone else is on a run. Break offense coming in. I think Shawhood is on a run, but he's coming out the end of Sector 2 on a set of mediums. And I think, yeah, I don't see anyone else relatively close unless you see someone worth noting, James.
Oh, Tom has just invalidated through the final corner at the Wall of Champions, so he caught on the curb on the inside through 14 as Nathan Clark goes fourth on that set of medium compounder tyres. So good lap there by the other Alfa Romeo. Ferrance is on a lap as well, 41.1, around 4/10 of a second off Yona in that middle sector. So Ferrance might be helping into the pit lane here, I think, to try and set up. No, he continues on for this lap through 13 and 14, getting caught wide slightly there does Ferrance, and now on the run to the line. 109.5, of course he is learning, no assists, of course, is Ferrance. 109.5 though, even on his best form, that is a little bit disappointing.
I think he's struggling. I'm watching his laps. Remember, that is his third lap on that set of softs, so those tires are pretty rough. Now he hits the wall hard, so I think he's struggling. Quite under power here, because we know Canada is very easy to spin out as well. So I think he's really struggling to get in terms with a throttle application right now. And this may be the kryptonite to Fairness that may open the door for someone else to maybe come up and catch him a little bit, or at least the constructor. So we have to keep an eye on him and just see if he can keep that car planted, because that setup may be a little bit too loose for him, and now he can't change it as he clips the grass even more there. So I don't know what he can do to fix it, but he better take the kitchen sink to it and maybe try to fix something.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think it's more, because obviously this circuit is more of a downforce setup circuit, and I think with Ferens, I wonder if there's a hint of a wet setup in there, because obviously I think the session's going to be dry, unless it obviously absolutely teams it down with about 2 minutes to go, which I'll probably say that it could happen now. Nicholas is on a lap, however, 40.8 through the middle sector. He's around sort of Jona's sort of time in the middle sector, so this is not looking too bad from the other McLaren, as Jona's out on top, followed Kongan second, Neymar on third. I'm not sure if anybody heard that scream, by the way, in the background, but Jona leading the way, followed Kongan second, Neymar on third. Nicholas still on a lap, though, the CPI man running down in towards 13 and 14, and he clips the curb very nicely, hops over the curb of 14 very nicely indeed, and this is a very good lap from Nicholas as he now runs to the line, and he goes third. 109 flat from Nicholas. Jona on top, followed Kongan second, Nicholas in third.
Yeah, it's almost a McLaren lockout there. It always seems like the McLarens have always... That's kind of shocks me, because McLarens have already had somewhat of a strong season. There always seems to be one McLaren that's been fighting fairness, yet they're not up there in the constructor standings, worth noting. They're not second, but I know they're somewhat in the third, fourth bracket. So it is kind of worth noting. You think they'd be a little bit higher up with how strong it seems to be at least one of the drivers is every week. So kind of a weird moment. But anyway, Jona's out on an outlap, Volvicon's out on an outlap, Neymar is cooling down after he made a slight mistake. We also got Taze Leroy on to set us off, so one to watch out for. He's about to cross the line to start his run. So maybe something to worth note. Other than that, we got Tibos, who's in the third sector, is invalidated. We got York, who's in 13th, has not put a time down yet. He's also just invalidated. And Pyro on a run on a set of mediums at 14th, coming through the last chicane here near the Wall Champions. So we'll see what he can do in his Alpine. It was a little bit nice, gets a relatively good exit there. We'll see what he gets to run down to be a 109.832, which would be P11 for Pyro, which at this point may be a fresh choice, a tire choice, when the qualifying ends.
Yeah, not to be dishonest to Pyro in terms of that lap, that looked very, very hesitant, if I've got to be honest, from Pyro. He's capable of going a lot quicker than what he showed there, I think. 109.8 on that set of medium compounded tyres. As you say, he's on the bubble there underneath the top 10 brackets, so we would start on that fresh compounded tyre, but we don't know what the weather is going to be doing, of course, in the race. Frankie Fro was on a lap. FVR Frankie, as he's now known, he was on a lap. He's invalidated, though, in the middle sector. Volakongan is not on a lap. Neither is Neymar. Taze Leroy is not on a lap. I don't think we've got anybody on a lap, in fact. Brick FN was. He's also invalid.
Taze Leroy is actually on a competitive lap here. Oh, it's not competitive. It's still clean, but it's not going to be competitive. It's going to be a 111. So, yeah, he's on a slowdown run here, so must have made a slight mistake somewhere on the run, which is a bit kind of shocking. But kind of go back to your point about it's Pyro. Honestly thinking, I think he just wanted to put down a time, because we see still Tibos, Jorg, Tom, and Franchi, who all don't have times down yet. So maybe he's just thinking, let me get a time down with my 2-lap mediums, 7 minutes to go, and then we'll go crazy if we have to near the end. So I think he's just playing the conservative game here, just knowing, let's get a time at the very least. I don't want to start. It's better to start P11 than P17.
Jonas 3/10 up in the middle sector, and now coming into the hairpin through turn 10, and Jonas on a really good lap here through the kink of 11, now through the kink down and towards turn 12, and then into the wall of champion chicane at 13 and 14, and Jona is right on the limit. If he doesn't invalidate this is going to be a 108.3. Jona coming through in towards the final couple of corners, doesn't invalidate, degradates a bit of speed away. Now Jona on the run to the line. Is it a 108.3? No, it's a 108.5, and I think that degradation of speed just cost him slightly, but Jona now puts his marker down. Neymar, by the way, went second as well, so 109 flat from Neymar, but Jona 5/10 ahead of Neymar. 5/10 around this track as Chorda's crash coming through the middle sector. 5/10 around this track is very, very big.
It is very big indeed. There's not many spots where you can kind of gain. The only place, again, I can think of is that last chicane where how aggressive you be will decide how much time you gain or lose. Z Volviconda, for his first 2 sectors, only a 10th up. He could break into the 108 range and reclaim second, so we'll see what he can do in his Haas here as he goes to the last couple corners here, gets a relatively good exit. Ooh, he gets very close to that wall. They're trying to put as much time, could put a pilling cart through there. Wow. Don't know what I'm saying, but it's a 108.669, and that will be P2 barely off Jona, so found that time, but Jona found just a bit more.
He gained 0.3 per second in that final sector alone, did Volakongan, so he's right on the limit. If he can really hook up his first and middle sector, Volakongan could be ending up on pole position with 6 minutes to go in the session. Jona out on top, Volakongan second, Neymar back in third, just trying to see on board with the lap. Jonas is actually improving, 0.3 up at the end of the middle sector, but very sketchy coming through the final chicane, and now on the run to the line, he does improve, he goes third, 0.3 improvement, he actually degraded a bit of speed away at the end of that lap. It could have easily been a lot lot quicker than what it is. Ference there down at 9th. He is not on a lap either. Neither is Noisy. He's also invalidated. Tibos there and Jorg. Jorg, I think, is on a lap, and he's a 41 flat through the middle sector. It's not the purple, though, in the middle sector.
Yep, Jorg is on a lap there. His teammate's going to try to get maybe a little bit toe down the straight here. Could give him a little bit of a help here. So a little bit of a competitive advantage here at the very least. I don't know how much time it will gain, but if Noisy is going to kind of pull hard right, I assume, maybe. Or maybe give him a toe down the, yep, there he goes. Goes hard right, humps on the brakes. Good old teammate. There's the friend you want indeed. We'll see what Jorg can do here. Long down the straight, it's going to be a 109, 206. So it's going to be only P7. So that little toe probably got him probably ahead of Taze Leroy. And ahead of Noisy himself, but not much higher. So I think George's got some more time in the board as Break FM puts on a time of 117. So just trying to put something down.
And speaking of Break FN, he's gone for spin. He's gone for spin. Lost his front wing completely coming out of the chicane of 5 and 6. So Break FN round, no front wing on that car. It was Matt Tibos the one that improved. 1 of 10 flat for Matt Tibos. So he goes 13th. Break FN and 14th. Frankie Fro still just said about to settle a lap, if I can get my words out. 4.5 minutes to go. Yonarad on top, followed Kongan second. Jonas in third. If you are liking the stream, of course, so far, like, comment, subscribe. Tick that notification bell, of course. If you are new, Break FN just getting out of the way, causing the yellow flags at the end of the middle sector. Frankie Fro, though, on a lap, and his new outfit, of course, of FVR. FVR being the Spanish outfit, of course, from the PSGL Esports Cup event. If you want to go and watch those races back, by the way, you can. But Frankie Fro, quite interesting, because he has been a very, very good driver this season, and FVR, I think, of course, are very much of an underdog here in terms of signing them underneath that team, and we'll see now what his middle sector's going to be as he catches the curb, coming through turn 8 and goes for a spin. And that is why you try and not commentate or curse on drivers when they're on the lap.
Yeah, indeed. And I just was thinking about it as I was watching that lap there as well, that with the news of Aston Martin with BWT Water leaving, we're not going to see the watermelon pink anymore. So, bit of a shame. But, yeah, just something worth noting for next season with the upcoming F1 calendar season, because the only driver outside of that man is Fairness, who's going to have a clean track to himself. So we'll see as he's going to come to the end of the second sector, start of the third, and he'll be alone, but he better kind of get a move on, because with 3 minutes to go, I doubt anyone will come out of the pit lane, but with the pit lane kind of breaking into corner 2, corner 3 section, someone could come out and kind of cut him off. So it's going to be a timing game. I do see, I think, McLaren kind of making a move for the exit there. It won't interfere with his run, but as he will back off a bit more here. So we'll see if our current championship leader can put down a pole run and catch Yona, Volvakan, or Jonas with 3 minutes to go as he's about to start his run for glory.
Yeah, Ference now on a lap, coming through the left-hander of 1 and now through the right-hander of 2. 2.5 minutes just over to go in this session. Yonrad on top, followed Kongan second, Jonas in third. And now Ference needs something special. Coming through the chicane of 3 and 4, and already this lap is messed up and he invalidates coming through turn 4. You could just tell coming through turn 3, the way he went out wide, Yona was waiting there just to try and let him through, but Ference, so unfortunately, he picked up an invalidation, but I think he made his mistake himself just before the exit of turn 3, the exit of turn 4, I should say, and that is why, obviously, he went off the camber of the corner and couldn't correct himself, and that's why he picked up the invalidation.
Yeah, he made a slight mistake there, went too wide, and at that point he either cuts the corner, gets invalidated, or he tries to back down to try to save it, but at that point the run's lost. You're not going to put down a competitive time, so back down, save your stuff, try to get the tires recooled, and go for a second run here with 2 minutes to go, because this is his last attempt he's going to get, because he won't make it around again and have another go, so he's got to go aggressive here. We see a lot of other drivers heading out as we speak, including Neymar, Jorg, Francis is actually on another push lap here. So we got Nicholas. Everyone is basically heading out right now. It's going to turn into a car park. But Fairness about to start run 2s. I think Volvakan has also started to run as well as he's just crossed the line. So we'll keep an eye on that Haas driver. Only a 10th under Yona right now. So we'll see what he can do through the first sector. And again, a little bit of pressure's on because one mistake, run done, probably session done here. So we'll see if the end of sector 1 is invalidated. So kind of ride on board here. Kind of take some advice of yours. Don't jinx the driver as you run on board.
Yona's actually on a lap behind him, and he's actually 200 up. Purple first sector from Yona. The QRT man, of course, hoping to try and replicate his form from Russia, where, of course, he won and he beat Jorg and Ference that day as well, as Brecker Fenner's retired, I think, in the pit lane. Yona, though, coming through the second chicane of 7 through 8, and now in towards the top of the hairpin at turn 9 and 10. and it's quick. 400's up in terms of improvement. He's got Jorg ahead of him, and if he wanted to try and pick up a little bit of a toe here, is the Dutchman. Jorg going slow. Is he waiting for him possibly? He's weaving. Jorg's got to realise. Goodness me, he just about realises. And now Jona continues on with his lap. Frankie Fro gets off the way onto the right-hand side. He improved up to 8th position with a 109.2, but Jona absolutely picture perfect coming through the chicane. Has gained a lot of time through there. Now Jona to the line. It is a 108.3. Just had to sit and wait for it. Jona out on top. Volokongen in second. I think that's the lap time that won't be beaten.
I mean, Volvocon's going to go for one more push as we see the two main rivals last week almost collide there. No harm, no foul there, but definitely Fairness has just had a rough go of it. 11th, not going to put down another time here. So that's session done for our points leader. Only going to be P11, so a bit of a shock of the session. We'll see what Volvocon can do here as he's on a run. We got Jonas currently in sector 2, a 10th up on his time as now the session has come to an end. Neymar about to cross the line, 1/10 up. We'll see if he can break into the 108s finally. He can. It'll be a 108.795, enough to jump his teammate, but no higher. Trying to see who else is. I think York has spun it on his run, so his session is done. P7 is as high as we'll go. Pyro across the line. Taze Roy still P10. Noisy about to come up now. He's up a half a second, and it's going to be P4 for the AlphaTauri driver. So good, what they need for the constructors right now. Now here comes Jonas as well. Going to come off the wall, almost clips the wall, tries to put as much time as he can. Can he jump any higher? It will be P4, so it'll jump Noisy. Mercedes 3-4, and we got Volvocon on the run, and I'll let you take the finish, James.
Yeah, Volokongen's actually, I don't think, on a lap. He's 3/10 down to the end of the middle sector. Tom is on a lap, however, in the Red Bull. Volokongen goes straight into the pit lane, so that is his lap done, and that's his qualifying session done. Tom goes 8th with a 109.1 ahead of Jorg, and I think that is it. Ferenc is not on a lap, I don't think. He's
Nicholas.
not. Jorg on a down lap. Nicholas is. He improves 500s, but he doesn't improve in terms of position. That is the end of qualifying, and that lap time of 108.3 from Jona was the lap time that couldn't be beat. Volokongen there in second, and Neymar in third. Jona really in a rich vein of form, though.
Yeah, he is in a rich frame. I think he's found his form. And again, we kind of pondered that 2 weeks ago, where if he was here the whole calendar, I think it would be a lot closer of a fight between him and Fairness. But sadly, him coming a little bit late. He'll be here for next season, though, in F2. But for right now, he's just going to have to take due and try to get as many spots as he can. But with the bad form of Fairness being down to P13, this may be enough points to get closer to the top half. And with 3 rounds to go, the cut line shrinks to 90 points at the end of this round. So if it's currently 70 between him and second-place driver Blaine Blanking, the word I'm looking for is the other AlphaTauri driver in York. So it goes from 70 to 4. So if he crashes out, it could be 40 points, and this championship could be back wide open.
It could be back wide open indeed. I mean, Jorg has out-qualified Ferenc, but Jorg's qualifying. He's nearly a second off the back of Jona in terms of pole position. Unbelievable lap from Jona, though. He's out on top. Volokongen in second, Neymar in third, Sionas in fourth, Noisy in fifth, Nicholas in sixth. Nathan Clark, by the way, on a set of mediums, 7th position, 109.1. Watch out for him if it's starting dry in the race. Tom in 8th, Jorg in 9th. Pyro ran off the top 10. He did improve in terms of his lap time. Pushes Frankie on the bubble down in 11th. Taze Leroy in 12th. Ferenc in 13th position. The championship leader has got a mountain to climb and probably needs a few miracles out on track if he is to try and produce what we have seen so far this season. David Child in 14th, Matt Tibbos in 15th, Breaker Fed in 16th, and Honey Badger in 17th. And actually, Honey Badger was saying in the comment section he had no brakes coming out the pit lane. That's where he crashed off.
Oh, okay. I guess that explains what happened there. A little bit of a brake failure there, and just went dead on. And that's sadly a mistake, but hopefully he's got his brake pedal all fixed up, and if it's, I think he does have a wheel, so yeah, brake pedal all fixed up, and hopefully it's all good to go, or else it may be an interesting corner one at the very least. So again, hopefully he's got that fixed up. But to kind of finish my point on Fairness, I just thought of something. If he's gonna, I think the best point I got to bring up is that in his situation, he may want to play conservative because he's got a big cushion. Don't end up throwing it away for something that may not be there.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think Ferenc, honestly, he's going to be caught in the bit of the backwash throughout this field as well, because he's there in 13th. He's on the cleaner side of the grid, I think, as well, so that will help him, but he's got to be wary of all the carnage that is probably going to happen down and towards turn 1 and 2, and hopefully it doesn't happen. And in terms of Tom's brakes, by the way, hopefully nobody put a metal bolt in the brakes like somebody did. I think it was in... Was it Alan Prost's car, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day? Somebody left a mechanical bolt in the brakes, and it was oh no, it was John Alesi in Australia. And that's that I think is pretty much the same reference as I'm trying to go with in terms of Tom and his brakes there. But there we are.
Yep, just make sure you check your brakes. We got a little F1 historical knowledge right there. So yeah, always check your brakes and make sure everything's good and calibrated before you go, or else you may be frowning as you take corner 1. But waiting for the last session here, it does look dark. It looks like it'll be dry at the start, but like I said, there is, from our local weatherman, there is a chance at rain. But the question is, when?
I think it'll start raining on the formation lap. I really do. I think, honestly, I've seen it before. It does happen, and we'll have to wait and see, of course, whether it does happen on the formation lap. Of course, top 10 qualifying on that set of soft compounded tyres, unless you're Nathan Clark and you're in a set of medium compounded tyres, you're probably on the better strategy as well in terms of the top 10. Further down the field, though, Frankie Fro all the way down to Honey Badger, 11th down to 17th, all on that set of medium compounded tyres. And that screams at me, saying there's going to be rain later on in the race, and that's why they've gone for a set of mediums now.
That's what I was thinking as well, because if you're Nathan Clark, why qualify in a set of mediums if it's going to rain early? Or if you're at 11th through 17th, why go on a set of mediums if it's going to rain early? So I think we're going to see rain maybe around the soft fall-off point, medium fall-off point, because if it was going to go even longer, go on a set of hards, but maybe lose enough time, maybe not be the smartest choice. But it is worth noting that I think we're going to at least see no rain up to the first pit stop. But yeah, that track does look very greasy, and it does look like there's enough fog there that something is coming.
Something is coming normally, and I've commentated around here, I think the last time we did TTML here in Canada, commentated on a dry to wet race, and the wet race, it really came over quickly in terms of the weather conditions, and I think it was, a lap and a half until it started to rain. So, it just comes to show how quick the weather can change around here in Canada, especially so. Looking at everyone further down the field though, everyone obviously starting on that sort of medium compounded tyres. Who's your bet really from further down the field to try and get further up the field on the first lap? I think Frankie's in with a chance.
I think Frankie's a good point as well. I got Taze Leroy. We saw him qualify well in those mediums, so maybe he's got a setup set well for them. So I'm going to keep my eye on Leroy as well as a name to watch out for, one behind Frankie, because he's only 12, and he was really good in mediums in qualifying, so definitely to watch out for.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think Taze Leroy, by his own standards, I think it was a disappointing qualifying session. He'll be hoping to try and replicate that, though, in the race. Quickly, though, top 3.
Okay, Yona, Neymar, throws dart at board, Tom.
Very, very interesting indeed. I think that was a peer-pressured top 3 there for my co-commentator. But the 5 red lights are about to go out here in Canada, and for the first time in 2022, we go racing, and Yona is off to a great start. Volokongan as well, and Jonas has actually jumped his teammate and is going to get the inside line on Volokongan down in towards turn 1. It's all mayhem as Nicholas goes around 3 cars on the outside of turn 1. Jonas still leads the way though. Volokongan in second, Jonas in third. Everyone's clean through safely. Noisy on the outside of Nicholas retakes that position, so he's through and he's into 4th. Nicholas there in 5th. Neymar right on the back of Nathan Clark. Now into the first pinch point of the circuit. Frankie Fro and Tom going side by side. There's a little bit of contact there as Pyro gets forced off track by Taze Leroy, and there's a little bit of carnage actually, and a little bit of damage for Pyro on the left side end plate. He's just hit the wall where Hartley and Stroll, of course, made a collision back in the day. Nathan Clark, though, on the back of Nicholas, trying to get the move done down in towards turn 8. He's not going to be close enough, though. Yona leads the way. Volokongan in second, Jonas in third. Apart from that little bit of front wing damage for Pyro, very clean start.
I was just going to say, when I saw that incident, I had flashbacks to Hartley Stroll in 2018, so you kind of called the reference where I could make it, as we see Tom kind of get a little inchy-pinchy and almost stuck it up Neymar there. So it is kind of worth noting. But one thing I did see is Fannis did run into the back of, I think, Jorg. So maybe worth noting to see if he's struggling with a little bit of damage, because he is looking a little bit slow off line there. But Viona leads the way, Volvacon in second, a little bit of breather room to Jonas. Noisy, Nicholas, Clark. We got a little bit of argy-bargy in the back. I think Jorg could make a move on Frenchie here on those fresh mediums. Gotta take advantage of those softs to qualify, but no chance to make a move there. But definitely wants to take advantage with those softs before Frenchie can make his mediums work right well.
Well, the mediums, I think, will be the better tyre at this stage in the race, because the softs really do not last long around here at Canada. Taze Leroy and Pyro both into the pit lane, obviously, to repair front wing damage on the car. Yona, though, was absolutely stolen away with this. 1.5 seconds over Volokongan, and the Norwegian now really beginning to struggle in behind. Jonas there in third, Noisy in fourth, Nicholas in fifth, Nathan Clark in second. Nathan has probably got a better start of everyone in the top 10. Looking at the position changes, actually, he's gained 1 position as Noisy hits the wall. Coming out of the chicane chicane of 8 and 9, now in towards the hairpin of turn 10, and Nicholas is going to try and get down the inside line here of Noisy, and Noisy didn't have any front wing damage, and Nathan Clark, look at him, down the inside line, is going to try and replicate them both, and he's going to get now the slipstream on the back of Nicholas. Is he going to break the toe desperately out to Noisy? Neymar is closing in quite quickly as well, but Nicholas, I think, is going to hold P4 down into the wall of champion chicane. Jonas still leads the way, Volakongan in second, Jonas in third. Noisy, though, has lost 3 positions as a result of that.
He did. He just kind of got napped because he went on the inside. Nicholas took the move, and then Nathan Clark's like, oh, I'll see an opportunity to take a pass here. So he took it, and he took his ball running using those fresh obedience. Now DRS has been enabled. Nicholas will be the first naughty boy. He'll get a 3 to add to his name. But Clark could sense blood in the water here, could make a pass up in this corner right here at the end of Sector 1. So it'll be worth noticing. I think you're laughing at something, so maybe something is already
Neymar's going side by side with Noisy, coming around 5 and 6, and now Tom's trying to get in the act as well. And the Mercedes and the AlphaTauri go side by side. Noisy on the inside line just cuts in front. What a race this is already turning out to be. Tom gets Noisy, and Noisy has spun Tom, the other Tom, Honey Badger, is ran and it's 3 wide down in towards turn 8. Noisy tries to hang it in on Frankie Fro, but Frankie has to take, Noisy has to take the escape road, and now Nathan Clark's on the back of Nicholas all of a sudden. Yona leads the way, Volakongan in second, Jonas in third. Believe it or not, it's suddenly the end of lap 3 this, and I think with that we've been going around about half an hour already.
Noisy's really struggling right now with that car. He's trying to stay ahead now. He's going to be under pressure from Ferris here. Ferris is going to make that pass up the road. You can see Thibault's going to make a move on Jorg. So Red Bull, could he, the senior team pass the junior team, going into the hairpin? Yes, he will. So Thibault is Jorg. It's the first race in 2020, second race of commentary in 2022. I need a minute to get my words back in order. But Thibault's in 9th, Ferris in 11th.
Yeah, I think we're having that bit of a nightmare in terms of the pronunciation of it. And it's starting to rain. It's raining now out on track. The rain beginning to fall. Just coming through turn 1 there with Neymar. The rain starting to fall now out on track. So, early it seems to be in terms of the rain. Yona, though, leading the way. Volakongan there in second. Jonas in third. From Nicholas in fourth. Nathan Clark in fifth. Tom there in sixth. Neymar in seventh. Frankie Fro in eighth. Thibault in ninth. Jorg ran off the top 10. Ferris in 11th. David Chard in 12th. Yeah, Nathan just stays in behind on Nicholas.
Yeah, it looked like you thought about a thrum move there, but I saw Noisy coming in. He had a pit for, I'm assuming, damage. Went on a set of softs. He's probably kicking himself a little bit because probably wanted to stretch that for another lap or two, but he was really struggling, so he was kind of between a rock and a hard place. But Clark now, will he make a move on Nicholas here? We do have the LFX Sector 2. I think that's something with Pyro and Leroy. Yep, it is Leroy. Wrong way around. But, yep, looks like Clark, again, fainting. Now he's going for it. He'll make the pass successfully, thinking he wants to get done before DRS is deactivated, and he'll put it up to P4, Nicholas down to P5. But, again, Yona, I just want to point out, is blowing away from Volvakan and is under no pressure right now.
Yeah, definitely. So Tom had a look there on Nicholas down in towards turn 1 as well. Taze Leroy, by the way, went round coming through turn 5 and 6. I think he got caught on the curb, if I'm not mistaken there. But Yona absolutely excelling out in front. The turnaround from obviously being part of his former team, now of course with QRT. He's really flying out on track. Yona leading the way, 2.1 seconds. Volakongan in second. Jonas there in third. Nathan Clark in fourth. Neymar on the back of Tom as well. The rain is not really impacting on the circuit so far, so I think we've got still a couple of laps worth of racing. But saying that, Pyro, yeah, is in for a set of inters.
I think he just pitted because he had damage, so he's like, why not take a risk here? He's so far off the 8 ball, maybe he thinks some safety car comes out or something. Maybe he can capitalize, but I think it's way too early to try that. So he'd kind of be the dummy car, as they would say. If he starts kind of putting down good times, maybe some other drivers follow him in within the next lap or two. But since the DRS has not even been deactivated yet, I don't think we're at that change VAR period yet, but maybe in a couple laps. But farther back, we do got nothing really worth to report. Big old train from fourth on back. Actually, sorry, fifth on back.
Here comes Tom.
Trainers. Yep, Tom going to make a pass here on the inside. Getting a little bit too weighty-baity in the train here, and he's going to make the pass. So Tom at the 5th, Nicholas at the 6th, and can Neymar hang it around the outside? He's going to get a little bit of a pinch. So Nicholas will keep 6 for now, but Neymar, a little bit hungry, sensing the pressure behind, may make that pass on that McLaren.
Yeah, Neymar was hung out to dry, and Nicholas does a Vettel coming across the grass there, and Neymar made his own mistake. So if he didn't make his own mistake, we could have had the Vettel-Hamilton sort of thing. And we're going on about it, and it's all Constantine up and behind. Jorgen Ferrens make contact further down. I think David Chard was involved in that as well, and Neymar's been spun. I'm not sure if he lost it by himself. Pyro's retired at the hairpin. So much going on, and there's a safety car to calm it all down.
Yep, what happened there, I think, was Chell had locked it up, hit Fairness hit Jorg, and it kind of went up the Jorg there. They were all just in a train there. One mistake, everyone else is going to be taken for a ride here. But now the question mark is, we're on lap 6. It does look a little slippery, but probably not enough for a change here. But if you're on a set of softs, you may be kind of pushing to the limit of your tires. So what do you do if you're a soft runner like Yona right now? Pit or try to hang on for as long as you can?
Well, Yona's staying out, but I feel I would do Volakongan's sort of strategy. I'm not sure if he's going on to another set of dry compound tyre, but currently the rain is not impacting enough on the circuit for me to think that it's inters, but I think these are going to go on inters. Yeah, they are. So Volakongan is in for a set of inters. I think everyone is going to be in for a set of inters.
Jonas is on a set of mediums, and Frankie's on a set of softs. So it's kind of a mixed bag here, because we see Volvacon won a set of intermediates, Tom won a set of intermediates, we got Jorg on a set of hards, we got Shawhood on ints, Nicholas on ints. Yeah, it's a lot of mixed bags here, so we got, just kind of neutralize it, we got Jonas didn't go for a wet compound, Franchi didn't go on a wet compound, and Jorg didn't go on a wet compound, along with Fairness. But everyone else went for a set of intermediate tires. Oh, sorry, Noisy also is on a set of softs, I think he's pitting for a wet compound tire. So yeah, only a handful of drivers think it's still dry enough, or will be dry enough at the safety car's end, that they'll be able to capitalize. So this is kind of the move of the race, including our championship leader currently in 12. If this works out great, he could rebound from bad qualifying, but if it ends up kind of hurting him in the teeth, it may end up costing him more spots than he wants to afford to lose.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think, honestly, those drivers that have gone onto a set of dry compound tyre, I think they're right in doing that now, because I thought, honestly, it might be the case where if the rain was going to fall heavy enough during the safety car period, you'd get a point where the inters will come online, and obviously the guys on a set of softs and on a set of dry compound tyres would have to stay out. That could still be the case, but I think what is going to happen is that the rain is not falling heavy enough for it to impact on the circuit. Ferrens, I think, has just gone for a spin, in fact, coming through the chicane. So Ferrens has gone for a spin and has lost the position to break FN, so he's now down in 14th. But what I was saying is that look at the track surface. The rain is not affecting the track surface at all. Jorg, however, though, set of hards, now coming in. Is he going for a set of softs or inters?
Maybe it was
it's a set of mediums, I think.
Yeah. Maybe he thought, maybe he put a misclick on, so I think that's odd. He threw away those points, especially against the hards. Maybe the better choice. Well, he'll lose some time, but with all the intermediates around him, but maybe he thinks he can still gain, so maybe not a bad choice with such chaos around, but he'll end up losing a couple spots.
Oh, wow.
He'll be down a little bit here.
He came out ahead of Break FN. That was beautifully timed, I've got to say, from Jorg's pit stop. And he's only lost, what, 2-3 positions, if that? And Jorg now, set of mediums, everyone ahead of him, he's got a wall of green tyres in front of him. Jorg's going to be the quickest man by far.
But the thing is that they could be also moving chicanes or roadblocks, so it may be fast, but at the same time he's got to pass more cars than someone like Jonas, who's only in 5th, or Franchi, who's in 7th, so he'll be the fastest car by far, but he's also going to have to move a lot of cars. It's kind of like in let's say the end of the 2021 finale. If Verstappen had those lap cars in front of him, it's a situation where it's going to be a bit of a pain to try to pass all of them. So he'll end up losing some more time. But it's probably for the time loss, it was a good gain. And safety car should be coming in not this time, next time, because we are still waiting for Leroy and Noisy to kind of get around here. So one more lap on a safety car, but maybe again, do we see anyone maybe take another risk here, thinking? Maybe if you're on intermediates, come off, or if you're on mediums, maybe come in.
I would. Look at the track surface now, because look at how the rain is beginning to fall. Yona, I think, has got to come in. He stays out. Nope. But if you're further down the field, Jonas, Frankie, I'm looking at somebody, there we go. Frankie's into the pit lane. He realises that the track surface is getting wet, and it's exactly what I thought might happen. The rain obviously started falling lap 4, we had the safety car lap 6, and now by lap 8, we're pretty much getting to intermediate conditions, and everyone that is now on a set of dries, it's going to be very similar to what we last had here in TTML, where we came here in Canada, and obviously that was a changeable race, and half the field that stayed out on a set of inters, pretty much just had to stay out there and hope for the best, because look at the rain now, and I wouldn't be surprised DRS will be disabled when we get back racing.
That is a good chance to wait and see on that point. Again, Fairness also to come in as well. He'll be P15 on his set of intermediates as well. But we got, only Noisy, Jorg, both AlphaTauris, Mercedes, Honey Badger. I mean, Clark and Honey Badger I kind of get because they started on a set of mediums, maybe run it till it runs dry. But if you're Yona, you're on old softs. Try something. You have a fast car regardless. Maybe he just doesn't feel confident in that intermediate tires. So we'll have to wait and see on the front as the final two will catch up. We should be coming in this time by, and how bogged down Jonah gets on the start could have a quarantine effect on the rest of the field here. So something definitely to watch out for on this start, as, like I just said, safety car coming in this time by.
Yeah, safety car coming in this lap. It is Jonah, the virtual Bert Marlander. He's the virtual safety car, and do you know what? I think he'd be following this right to the T. He wouldn't want to back up the pack so much because he has to try and minimise that advantage that everyone is going to have on that sort of intermediate comparative tyre. So, Volakongan in fourth immediately. I think he'll be leading by the end of this lap. The rain is falling heavy enough. We're at the crossover period, and all hell is probably about to break loose here on League Racing TV for TTML F2, and now Jonah says go in toward the final couple of corners as Nathan Clark's come straight into the pit lane. That's a very strange decision from Nathan Clark, but Jonah leads the way, and now Honey Badger in second, still on that set of mediums as well. Nathan Clark though into the pit lane, and now look at Sionis down the inside line, and Volakongan dives it down the inside line, and actually it looks like the set of dries are working better than the set of inters, but in 2 laps time it might be completely different. It's a very clean restart. Nathan Clark, by the way, did come in for that set of intermediate compound tyre, but so far inters are not working, but they will in a few laps.
They will in first lap, so I think Jonas right now saying catch me if you can. He's going to go pedal to the metal, and he is going to push hard as he gets a little stanky of Sneer there. So it's a point. Yeah, what a move indeed.
Nicholas.
So Nicholas, I was looking at Jonah, he got a little tank of snap there, so kind of kept it clean there. But yeah, Nicholas made a good move as well. I was kind of looking at something else. But yeah, big train behind him now, but it looks like Jorg and Noisy are kind of faster than the intermediates ahead of him, but nowhere to make a pass. So they're kind of stuck behind, and they need to get going right as they speak. But yeah, Volvacon now 2.3 off Jonas, and it's probably 3.5 off the leader. So definitely worries how Honey Badger gets past.
Yeah, Jonas goes sailing past Honey Badger down the straight, and that's really impressive in terms of his pace. I think it was the battery being deployed there from Jonas, and he's through, and he's into second position. Honey Badger stays out there as well, so all of the guys on a set of mediums currently staying out. Noisy dives it on David Child down the inside line, and now running of the sausage curve that might have given a little bit of floor damage to David Child, as now Neymar is going to come past as well, and we've got side by side actually between Matt Tibos and Nicholas. Nicholas stays ahead for now in P6. David Charhold on the back, though, in P11 on Neymar. Another 3-second penalty being picked up. But you can see how much they're sliding about on these set of inters. It almost looks like to me, though, the rain is beginning to ease once again, as Jonas is already on the back of Jonah. The softs are not working.
No, they are not as well. But remember, those mediums are only 4 laps old, while Jonas' tire is only 10. So here comes Jonah. Round the outside, it's going to be smooth like butter. So put the Mercedes up the 1, Jonah down the 2. And I think that is, again, with the fresh tires. But even Honey Badger's caught the back of Jonah. So those softs have hit the heart of their self-life. And at the same time, it looks like Volvacon is catching as well. So I think it may be the softest tires are really struggling.
Championship lead. Championship leader round as well. Ference has gone for a spin, so Ference now championship leader down in 16th position. He is going to be picking up points, of course, with how the point system works here in TTML, but Ference has spun again. Is this now the tide changing in terms of the championship? Jonas leads the way, Jonah in second, and he is in. Honey Badger also in as well, and I think they're going to go for dry compounded tyres, because that rain is really beginning to ease as DRS is now enabled.
Yeah, so it's starting to ease now. So the question mark of the day is they may have made out like bandits.
They've both got an inters. They've both got an inters. And it was really minute in terms of trying to change the tyres, by the way, so I forgive them for that. But they've both got in a set of inters, and it's just gone DRS enabled. So we're at the crossover period, and the mediums are coming more online. Jonas has got a 4.3 second lead over Volakongan.
Something else worth noting right now is where Jorg and Noisy, 5 and 6, both on medium tires, and both are second in the constructors, and Jorg is second in the standings, and with Fairness having a rough day pitting right now, it's a situation where they could gain a lot of points, and now Fairness has left.
Ference has left the session, but what a battle this is. Nathan Clark, Jonah and Honey Badger. Honey Badger tries to stick his nose in down the inside line. Jonah's tyres have not came online at all, and they're really struggling. And Nathan Clark has just done Jonah like an absolute kipper. He has thrown his into 13. Brilliant, brilliant insight coming through the chicane of 4 and 5. And Nathan just completely undercut him. Through he goes, and he's into 13th position as there is a bit of damage for somebody. It's Taze Leroy that's lost a bit of front wing. As now DRS is disabled. What on earth?
Maybe we maybe jumped the gun there per se. Is now Jonas in as well, so we'll see. I think he's going out center intermediates, and you're coming in. Noisy also coming in, so there's going to be a double step between the two of them as Taylor has retired, and I think he's crashed on circuits. That could be a safety car,
surely. Has to be a safety car. Might be off track.
No, it's on. Nothing yet, so I don't think we're getting it. So the mulligan that may have helped those medium runners just pissed. Noisy is pitting for a set of intermediate as well, so everyone is going on the green wall, which will hand the lead over the Volvacon. But it is worth noting that Jonas has gotten is 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, he's 5 seconds behind Frenchie, but he's only about a second clear, maybe a second and a half clear Jonas, so he really made those fresh tires work, and now he's passed Yoda on track for keeps, as they would say.
Yeah, he has put Yona on track, and Nathan Clark is also ahead into 10th position. Honey Badger not too far off either in terms of that battle. So really, we've got, 2 races all rolled into one here, I think. Volokong leading the way in the actual lead of the race. Tom there in second, Nicholas in third. But my attention's immediately drawn, Tionas and Yona especially. All of those guys in a fresher set of inters, and I'll say that again, fresher set of inters. How are they going to cope? 22 laps, roughly, towards the end of the race. Everyone could manage to get to the end, but all of those that are on a worn set of inters, I don't think will get to the end. However, Jonas, Yona, Honey Badger, all the pack further down the field as Nicholas has retired, coming through the final corner at the Wall of Champions, and it's a safety car.
All right, I was going to say that as we do see his car kind of parked there, again, hopefully it is ghosted. It is ghosted. But it is worth noting that if right now, if you're in that top path that didn't just come in, you are hoping for a dry track because you can get those fresh tires. But as we do see someone coming in, that is your coming in. So see what he's doing here. Oh, Noisy too, both coming in. We'll see what they do here for tire choice. It is going to be intermediate, so I guess they want fresher intermediates to make sure they can get to the end. So sensing a free pit stop, why not pit now, catch back up, and if everyone else in that top blanket decides to pit, as I think everyone is passing the safety car, so it'll be one more extra lap around. So I think they're thinking, let's pit now, let's hope that the top half decide to come in, and we can kind of make up like bandits.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think, honestly, they have to come in. All of those guys in a worn set of intermediates. If I was Jonas, I'd stay out. If I was Yona, I'd stay out. And if I was further down the field, the likes of Honey Badger, I'd stay out as well. But Volakongan, they've got to come in, I think, because those inters are not going to get to the end of the race unless they think that it's going to dry up towards the end, which I think they might, to be honest. I think it might dry up towards the end. They've got to really hope that this rain continues to fall at the rate that it actually is. If not, we're going to be seeing a very, very changeable race. Volakongan is in, so they're all coming in. Tom is in. Matt Tibos is also going to be in as well. And he's got to try and back up the rest of the pack. He's doing that because, of course, pit release and everything. He doesn't want to get held up and double stacked in the pit lane. And he's misjudged that completely.
He's mistake there, but it's only a 3-second hold, so it has calmed down, so it's not going to be as bad, but he's still going to lose some time. But Neymar, Chohod, Frenchie Fro staying out, Yona staying out, Nathan Clark staying out, Yona staying out, and they're all not going to get ahead here, as I think, Tom and Volvacon are going to get ahead of Clark and Yona, so Yona is going to end up falling behind these two, while Jonas is going to actually get ahead, so Yona is the only driver to really capitalize from hitting under that on track during the green flag stops, and it looks like Yona and Clark are going to be going to be stuck behind the two fresh tires.
I think they are, to be honest. I mean, Jonas is also in that same vanguard, I think, in terms of obviously the set of inters, but Yona is going to be stuck behind. But then I'm looking at the rain and thinking, you know what, I think it's going to be easing off very soon, and I think, honestly, these guys have decided to go with a set of inters, try and go short-term longest, and then obviously try and get to the end on whatever tire that is going to be. It is a very changeable race, though, here in Canada. Neymar leading the way, David Charhod in second, Frankie Fro there in third. David Charhod, by the way, fun fact about David Charhod, he's made his commentary debut during the week on FRL F2 or F3, I think it was, on a Monday night, the same league that I commentate for on a Tuesday. He actually made his commentary debut back then. So, David in second position, it's not been a bad week from it all.
No, that sounds like a good week for represent the commentators well, as they would say. Definitely probably one of the faster ones. But back to the point hand, the only thing I don't get is Jorg and Normsey pitting. I mean, they pitted and they're now still 12 and 13, so it's kind of a head scratcher of why they both decided to come in and now they lose track position. So unless they think it's going to rain to the end, but everyone else ahead of them has taken advantage of that free pit stop except for a few drivers. So I kind of wonder what their ideal call there coming in as soon as safety car rung out there. Maybe they thought they'd gain more, but they're well over 8 back. So unless they had damage that we didn't know about, which I can quickly take a look for, it just seems kind of odd.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think, honestly, look, but we'll have a look at the position change. Yeah, go on.
I was going to say, there's no damage. I looked at the thing. When they pitted, they didn't take any damage or front wing change. So that was clean stop, just whatever. So kind of odd.
Yeah, kind of odd, but obviously the pit release is so much quicker, obviously, than what is actually led on to. But, position changes. David Charhold, 12 positions gained. Neymar's gained 2 out in front. Frankie Fro and Honey Badger also gaining 8 positions. Matt Tibos and Break FN on 5. The only man not to have gained a single position this race is the man in 4th, Jonas, who is still there in his qualified position. And you would imagine, with him making 2 stops, he's probably going to the end of the race, and it's probably, can I say it, the favourite to win this?
I don't know. I mean, that doesn't seem like a bad choice, but right now if you're in top 3, you're hoping it eases up and you pit. But, yeah, I don't think that's a bad choice to say Jonas not in a bad situation as well. So I can kind of agree with you on that point, that I think they could be in the catbird seat.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Volakongan as well, in behind him, is going to be on 2-lap fresher tyres, but that 2-lap fresher tyres only amounts to, what, 6%, I think, around here in Canada. So really brings an interesting point into this race. When are the guys in the top 3 going to pit in for a set of, you would imagine, fresh inters, or if it dries out, a fresh set of soft compounded tyre, if obviously the race continues on like it is. We are nearly through the halfway stage. Neymar out on top, David Charhold second, Frankie Fro in third, Jonas there in 4th. And looking at the penalties, actually, it's something that we haven't covered so far tonight. Just give me a second as I turn the telemetry on and off. 6 seconds worth of Neymar, same with Honey Badger, Nathan and Jorg, all on 3 seconds. Very surprised, actually, that so many drivers have kept it clean so far.
Yeah. Well, this is the second division of TTML. It's probably one of the cream rises top, as they would say. So as you higher you go, you're going to see less incidents. So it is something worth noting. Not discrediting 3, 4, and 5, but it's just something as talent goes up, incidents also go down. So kind of like a graph, as they would say. But one thing I do wonder, though, is I know we keep talking about, is Fairness back in that car right now in 14th?
Yep.
Because I did see the time thing flip back, so I think he rejoined, and looks like he's under his own power. So again, the safety car definitely will help him out here, but he seems to really be lacking that pace. So, but it's not like his main championship rival is currently in 12th. So, not much damage going to be lost if everything holds how it is.
Yeah, but remember, Jona's in 7th, and he's only a couple of points behind Simply Superman, who's not even here tonight. So Jona is going to be in a good shot of actually outscoring both Ferenc and Jorg here tonight, and really bringing the championship fight to a 3-way battle. Neymar, however, though, is the virtual Bern Marlander. He is now the virtual safety car, and we're better get going into the second half of this race. Goodness knows, are we going to get 2011 vibes, perhaps? Is Ferenc going to win from the back like Jensen Button did? Who knows what's going to happen here in the second half as Neymar already says go. And Neymar, into the wall of champion chicane, will lead the way as they go very hesitantly through the chicane. And actually, Neymar nearly spins through the chicane. And now David Charhold is right on the limit to try and get this move done. Down on the inside line, he's going to be there. But David Charhold is going to try and leave it around the outside line. Now Neymar holds the lead. David Charhold in second, and Neymar just cut him off completely at the pass. But Neymar's really struggling on that sort of 11-lap old compounded tyres. And now David Charhold trying to go down the inside line. Doesn't quite get the move done. But Neymar looking very, very hesitant on that restart. I mean, he nearly spun it, and nearly spinning it as well was Jonas there.
Yeah, Jonas as well. Something else worth noting is Jonas did get 3 as soon as he started there off the start, so he kind of hurt himself a little bit, because now he's got a time penalty when almost the rest of the field around him doesn't, so he has to get a move on, so that could have probably hurt his chances of winning a little bit, but still, a lot of laps left to easily recover, but it looks like they are catching the back of 3, 2, and 1, because they got Frenchie and a little up the road as Charhold and Neymar, so big old train forming here, and the question mark is, how quickly can you get around? I think David Charles is thinking about throwing a move up the inside. Here goes a little bit too deep. They touch wheels, but the Ferrari will get the spots. Neymar really struggling with those 10-lap old intermediate tires, and the Ferrari will take the lead of this race.
But Neymar's going to have the run down into the World Champion chicane, but look at the battery usage now from David. He pulls away down the straight, and it's nearly 3/10 per second. Tom is nearly side by side with Yona in behind as well, but Yona stays in P6, Tom there in P7, and Yona very, very committed and very late on the brakes, already catches up to the back of Volakongan. As Honey Badger picks up another 3-second penalty to his name. David Charhood leading the way, though. Neymar in second, Frankie Fro in third, Jonas there in fourth, Volakongan in fifth, Yona there in sixth, Tom in seventh, Nathan Clark in eighth, Honey Badger in ninth, Tibos in 10th, Break FN, Jorg, Noisy and Ferens, who's still at the back of the field in 14th position, still picking up points though, as now the front two just begin to pull away. David Child and Neymar beginning to pull away, and Frankie Fro, I think,
David Clark,
trying to use as Nathan Clark and Tom have came together.
Yep, Nathan Clark Nathan Clark tried to throw a move up the inside. Tom got a little squirrely off exit. They kind of touched wheels. At that point, they were hooked, and well, Tom's now got no front wing, and Nathan Clark, I think, avoided damage, but is definitely not going to be getting a Christmas card from Tom.
Definitely not. Looks like Christmas in 11 months, so that's why Tom, I think, now has to try and troop around to the pit lane and really think about what this race is going to entail for the Red Bull in behind as Jonas sends it on Volakongan, and actually Volakongan nearly goes into the back of Jonas as well. Both TNR drivers, of course. I don't think they'll be wanting that in terms of that team, but David Charhood leading the way. Neymar in second, Frankie Fro in third. Is another spin. It's Tom again that has gone around slightly. Jonas, though, on the back of Frankie. Can he get the move done down towards the World Champion chicane? No. I think everyone's just going to settle down now. This is the point in the race where everyone's just going to settle down, get into their rhythms again. And now, I think Yona probably looking quicker than Volakongan at this point as well. But David Charhoud, look at his pace compared to Neymar. 1.2 seconds. The Lebanese man pulling away.
He is pulling away. You are 100% correct here. But again, tire fall off is going to be a pain, and he won't make it to the end. So again, maybe want someone to stop doing the rain dance. But third or back, I just want to see Yona is still in the back of Volcom. Again, nowhere to go. It's basically just a train, so he's going to have to kind of bide his time here. And same thing with Jonas with those fresh tires. So top three just holding on just because, like I said, they're kind of just roadblocks. There's nowhere to go because you don't get enough exit off. Well, speaking of that, I think Yona could try to make a move. He's losing a little bit too much drag to Volcom. I think the setup changes there. So Volcom will hold fifth for now, but on the exit, it did look like Yona was close to making something happen. Ooh. Something to watch out for, as now I think it may happen. We'll see if he decides to sort up the inside. Yes, he will.
It's late.
He'll lock up. He'll hold the spot. They'll touch a little bit of side pods, but who will get the better drive off? It's going to be the Haas driver at the very least, but they're still going to be side by side. Now Yona gets a better toe. Honeybag just watching from the wings here, just hoping something happens. I think up the road, Jonas is also battling Frenchie Fro, but Yona going to get the spot.
Very smart from Volokong, and he did not want to try and put that side by side into the Wall of Champions, and he nearly spun coming out of the Wall of Champions chicane. Honey Badger now on the back, running down in towards turn one. Is he going to try and risk it? No. Ferens is into the pit lane as well, and Honey Badger actually is going to try and find the traction on the outside of turn two. This would be really good if he could pull it off, and now the Dutchman trying to go wheel to wheel with Volokongan. He doesn't manage it, and he didn't get the traction, so Volokongan stays in sixth, Honey Badger in seventh. But Honey Badger, considering he was wanting 15 minutes for a long run, this is his long run in the race. He's in seventh, doing a good job as well. Volokongan there in sixth. As I better say that as actually Honey Badger just makes a mistake, so I better go off board with him. And now we'll go on board with somebody else. David Child leading the way, Neymar on second, Frankie Fro on third. Ferens, though, came out side by side, I think, with his teammate.
Yeah, he did come out side by side with his teammate here. Clark's lost away, and I remember Clark is a reserve, so there's no real teammate battle between the two of them there. And a couple weeks ago, they were fighting in different allegiances, so no love lost. Tibos is making a move on Honey Badger around the outside. Not going to get a drive off there. Honey Badger will hold station for, well, never mind.
Wow.
I think Tibos got a better exit there. Honey Badger really got poor on the inside, and Tibos keeps his foot in it and will end up taking seventh away from Honey Badger.
What an unbelievable amount of grip he got off that corner. That was insane from Matt Tibos. That's the level of having fresh tyres around here at Canada. Ooh. 3-lap fresher tyres. Jonas going side by side with Jonas as well down in towards turn one. Can he get the move done? McLaren goes side by side with the Mercedes. Nearly chops off the bit of front wing there, does Jonas. But Yona has to stay in 5th position for now. Jonas there in 4th, Yona in 5th. I think Yona doesn't want to try and get involved in battles. He realises that Volakongan is behind him with Matt Tibos as well on fresher tyres, so they've got to try and really counteract. I think Honey Badger made a mistake there, if I'm not mistaken, as well. Certainly saw somebody going sideways. David Charholder leading the way, Neymar in 2nd, Frankie Fro in 3rd. Goodness knows what's going to happen in the final, 13 laps of this race. Breaker Fenn not entirely out of this either. He's on the back of Honey Badger. But if you were Yona in this position, Pepsi, Jonas 4th, Yona in 5th, you've got fresher compound tyres behind you, and you've got traction with Matt Tibos behind you as well. What do you do at this point?
Honestly, here's the thing we have to remember, Jonas does have a 3-second time penalty. So I don't know how aggressive Yona wants to be. I'm thinking right now, if I'm in his shoes, I'm sitting behind him. If I see an opportunity to make a pass, I'm taking it. But if not, I'm just going to hold behind because there's no reason to risk end up throwing away. Now, Fairness has re-left the session, so his car will be ghosting around. Yeah, he's spun indeed. Neymar still in 2nd, but Jonas, again, is not even getting a good toe off Frenchie, and Frenchie's really making those intermediates work. So I think right now, don't rock the boat. Hold on, but if Volvacon start catching up back to you along with Tibos, then you may have to press the issue. But right now, it's going to be hard for Volvacon and Tibos to make a pass on you, let alone you make a pass on Jonas and Frenchie. So just kind of hold station right now. No reason to risk it until we get a little bit later, unless you see your move.
Unless you see the rain beginning to ease out on track as well. And
then yeah, go for it.
At various parts of the circuit, it looks a bit lighter, but coming through the first sector, it looks very, very wet indeed. And it's obviously not full wet, but it is looking very wet, and Neymar actually nearly goes for a little bit of a spin coming out of the chicane of 6 and 7. David Charholder leading the way, Neymar on 2nd, Frankie Fro in 3rd, Jonas in 4th, and we're on board with the Mercedes on the back of the Aston Martin. Of course, Aston Martin saying goodbye to their recent team principal, Otmar, the unpronounceable second name. Jonas on the back of Frankie into the hairpin. Just Otmar, we'll call him Otmar. Frankie in 3rd, Jonas in 4th, but Jonas still not on the back of Frankie though. But the Aston Martin doing well to try and hold him off.
Yeah, he indeed as well. He's making that car wide. You can hear the defense chants all throughout the racetracks. Now Tom gets 3 from multiple warnings at his name. And he's trying to make that car wide, but just see if anyone else is close to making a pass. It looks like New York not going to make anything on brakes. Yeah, everyone kind of just staying station. Not enough traction to make something happen unless you want to go for it, unless you have Verstappen S traction.
Unless you're trying to stand the inside line of Frankie, so would have cut in. He absolutely risked it. There's a bit of contact. And Jonas, you know better than that. You shouldn't have gone for that at all. He stays in P4, luckily.
He did. Luckily, no damage. Looks to keep his car back, and Yona had nowhere to go. But that's what I was saying earlier, that you don't want to risk it because that step right there, if you go too aggressive, you may make pass work. You may end up with egg on your face. So, again, buy your time until you see an opportunity to make a pass because, well, Jonas does have to get a move on because that time penalty could be at the mercy of that whole train losing so many spots. But top 3 may not make it. So, again, just kind of hold station right now.
Going on board with Yog. Yog just clipped the curb and then nearly went into the wall on the left-hand side, coming through turn 7. That was really close. I didn't think he picked up any damage, which is lucky. Yona, by the way, is going to try and get 2 for 1 as Jonas goes into the back of Frankie. And now Yona down the inside line is going to try and get the move done on 1. Can he get the move done on the other, though? The Aston Martin is ahead of the McLaren at this stage. David Charles, by the way, is 2.5 seconds up the road on Neymar, which is very impressive indeed. But Frankie Fro, I think, is going to stay 3rd. Jonas, though, in 5th position. That was really his own mistake, I think. He locked up down into the hairpin. We've seen that happen before. Went into the back of Frankie, and he's the one that's suffering because he's got damage.
Oh, that too, yep. That explains probably the reason why he mucked that corner up kind of badly. Now 2 spots to go past. I think Jonas was just his own worst enemy there. Couldn't take the inside line, hit the back end, and 2 many taps off the rear caused some damage. And that is going to put him down to 7th, 8th, and now he is going to be struggling in that Mercedes. And now Yona may have, again, some fresh energy here. Can he do what Yona couldn't and pass Frenchie in that Aston Martin?
Jonas has to cut across the grass coming through turn number 4, and now all of the field pretty much goes through. Yona, though, has been freed up. He's now on 3-lap pressure tyres compared to Frankie ahead, but it just seems to me Yona is struggling, and actually, saying that, I think he's going to get the move done around the outside into the chicane. No, doesn't want to risk it. I think that was clever, from Yona not to go for the move. Now into the hairpin, though, his favourite overtaking spot. He is going to get the move done, and actually, it's a bit like Kimi Räikkönen and Giovinazzi in Portimao, where obviously Frankie Fro was so slow off the final corner, or Räikkönen back then was so slow off the final corner. Yona does manage to get through them, and he's into 3rd position. Frankie there in 4th. Thought there was a little bit of front wing damage on the Aston Martin, but there isn't. And Volakonga now on the back of him.
He's on the back of him as well. Volvacon, remember, did kind of make that mistake, allowed Yon to get on by, and now Volvacon trying to re-catch up and stay close. So we'll see, he has to take a face of action, gonna take the line like in real life, and he's ended up losing one spot. Honey Badger, I think, may have touched the wall of champions there, but he's still gonna get a good enough exit, maybe make a move on Volvacon. Here comes Break FN, round the outside. No, he'll not make it. Honey Badger will hold spot. But Volvacon could make a move on Tibos here, get that spot back at the very least. Now, Haas Driver is going to at least sense a move, but not close to make something happen. But all went wrong there. Volvacon was close and then had to take a phase of action as I think I thought I saw something in the rear mirror. But anyway, Tibos 5th, Volvacon 6th, Honey Badger 7th. That's how they shake up right now.
Yeah, and Yog's on the back of this as well. He's in P9. Both AlphaTauris are outscoring both Alpha Romaleos at this stage as well. Ference, of course, will not be picking up any points for his own team at this stage. How costly could that be? Here comes Yog on the back of Break FN. Down the inside line and towards 8 and 9. Doesn't want to try and risk it, but the Dutchman obviously holding his own. With 9 laps to go after this one, David Childhood leads the way. Neymar there in second. And actually, if DRS was to be enabled, I think Neymar would be in DRS range of Ference's AI car, which would be quite interesting. But Yona now on the back of Neymar, and with 0.3 of a second away, I think Yona's going to get the move done down in towards turn 1 here.
How aggressive will he be? It looks like that's kind of how good he gets to the chicane here. It looks like it's relatively okay. Gets a relatively good exit, but it looks like Neymar could just let her pull off. But how much straight line will Yona have? He's not going to try anything a little bit too close. So yeah, Neymar gets a better pull-off exit. It will hold station at the very least. But again, the gap is kind of about the same from Jawhood to Neymar. It was 2 to 2.5 to 2, so it's not really gaining, but not really dropping.
I think the rain's beginning to stop out on track as well. The rain is beginning to stop. If not, it is nearly stopped. It is so minute in terms of this. So I go on board with Frankyville by mistake as Yon nearly goes into the back of Neymar. How sort of putting this must be for Neymar, getting a goal scorer ahead of you, and now having a real life car going down the inside line in towards turn 8 and 9 as now Yona pulls out of the slipstream and Neymar just lets him go. Yona through and he's into second. Neymar lets him go and actually puts the goal scorer in Neymar's way, which is quite neato indeed. Yoga on the back of Break FM was going side by side. It gets caught on the curb, but I can officially say the rain has stopped.
Yep, I was going to say right there, rain is slowing down to almost crawl. Now is officially stopped. But one thing I did want to point out is basically right now, if you're a fan of the Italian team, that German manufacturer was your best friend holding back Yona. But now Yona's got some clear sailing, 2.3 up. But if it stops just enough, Jawhead could pit and maybe hold on. But we know Yona is fast on a set of dry tires, so it's going to be up to Jawhead to fight for his life here. Still a long gap as Break FN has passed York, as they're side by side with the chip, a hairpin here, and Break FN's going to have to come over the corners, but York going to take 8th, Break FN 9th, and a little bit of a monster truck ramble there.
Tabas is going around the outside of Frankie throw as well. We try to see it down in towards 13 and 14. He didn't manage the move done there, but he picks his spot and takes it. Tibos through and he's into 4th. Bit like the Tibos of old, I think, here in TTML. Doing a phenomenal job. He's in 4th. Frankie throw had a mistake there as well in 5th position. And now Volakongan and Honey Badger are really chomping at the bit as well. Yo, Break FN, not too far behind yet. Jonas on a sort of soft compound tyre. So, how quick is the track going to dry out? To me, with the cloud cover and everything, greasy. I don't think it's going to dry out quite quick.
Yeah, no, that track is still way too greasy just riding aboard with this bumper camera of Tibalt's. That is way too greasy track to even dare put on a set of softs. So I think, Jonas has nothing to lose. He's far enough back, he'll be skating, but...
Oh, Honey Badger's in the wall! Honey Badger in the wall, sorry to cut you off, and now, no from wing on the car for Honey Badger. Possibly a VSC, possibly a safety car. I've seen something happen there before, though, and it's still green flag racing, so that's the case. Jonas is losing time to the back of Tom, which indicates it still enters. So stay out if you're watching the stream. Simple as.
Stay out. Let us be your engineers. Let us help you out with the basic math. Yona, though, is 1 point. He's gained 2 times that time by with 6 to go. I want to ask this question to you. If you're David Jawhead, are you hoping it stays just this conditions right now, or are you hoping it dries out just enough that you can pit? As Honey Badger's in now for a fresh wing change and maybe a set of tires.
Yeah, you'd imagine he'd go on to a set of dry compound tyres. But to answer your question, I think David Jawhead has to stay out there. He's got as much pace as what Yona has got on these set of inters, and he's run 5-lap older tyres compared to what Yona is. And Yona is only catching in the corners, where David Jawhead is obviously gaining on the straights. And you can tell there, he's using up the deployment. It's now 1.4 seconds again. And Yona's biggest disadvantage really is the straights. Once he gets on the straights, David Jawhead is quicker than him. Yona, with so many corners, though, was closing in.
Yeah, he came well over 6 temps on that run right there. So I'm thinking it was good. Now he's well over in the second. If DRS is activated, he would be in DRS range almost. So he's really put a great lap down here. And I think Shaw was hoping he'd be lap 34 going on 35, rather 29 going on 30. But he does get a little bit more pull on the straights. But again, like I said, this is your moment, David Jawhood. You're going to have to defend for your life. Good luck, because if you can hold off the current hot driver of F2, you'll get your first win.
Yo gets the move done on Frankie throw as well down into the wall of champion chicane. Frankie seems to be really struggling. Not sure if he's got some sort of damage. He must have, because he's losing positions like they're being gifted to him. Noisy now down the inside line into turn 1, gets the job done. He's into 7th. Frankie is really struggling. And now Break FN is going to try and join in the mix as well. Yona now less than a second away off the back of David Charhod. It has been a very good drive. Probably not the drive that Yona was expecting, to be honest, in terms of how changeable this race has been. But David Charhod now finally beginning to crack, I think, under the pressure as Yona begins to close in.
Not the leader Ferrari, but Break FN did skid around the corner there, drifting. Yep, he did. But back to the battle for the lead, yeah. Yona, Jawed fighting. I don't know what's going to be happening. Yellow flag sector 2, that is Frankie around, but maybe he's hoping for a quick safety car here.
No from wing as well. Is there going to be a safety car? I don't think there is. He's off track. The marshal will try and clear that. Tom is well away, I think, from the where the accident actually happened. So it is back to green flag racing. Those marshals are very quick these days in terms of the coding. Matt Tibos, though, on the back of Neymar, 3rd and 4th position, the final the final podium scoring position, I should say. And now Matt Tibos, is he going to launch it down the inside line? No. Neymar's into the pit lane. Neymar's in, obviously feeling he can't get to the end on those inters. And now he's coming in. Is it for a set of dry compounded tyres? Yes, set of softs. But
well, so does Break FN, but I think Break FN may have damage, so worth noting as well. But his tire's only 23 laps old.
I think Neymar's time is absolutely perfect, because I'm watching Sionis, and he's closing in on Honey Badger very quickly indeed on that set of soft compounded tyres compared to a set of medium. Do not be surprised this lap around if we do see DRS enabled, because I honestly think this track now beginning to dry as actually Neymar nearly skirts on coming through turn 1, and I think as long as Neymar can get those tyres up to temperature, he might be on form to win this, as Yona and David Child are only 3 tenths away for the lead.
Maybe as well, as we can see if Yona makes a move up the inside here. Neymar, only downside he has 6 seconds worth of time penalty, so even if he can make that strategy work, he'll have to get as much time as he can. Here comes Chaho on the inside. Yona may try the switchback maneuver, but again, maybe just playing with his food here. David John's not going to get a good enough exit, but he is faster on the straights. Question mark is, will the Ferrari take a risk here? Will he just hold on for dear life, knowing that he's got a big enough cushion? But again, Masso's intermediates to go well over 28 laps is a stretch. But right now, Charlotte staying out. Yona staying out. How quick will Yona make a move as Charlotte gets a little squirrely off exit? This could be the battle for the win of this race. Here comes Yona. Will James' prediction be correct? Around the outside. They're still side by side. Inside favors Yona. And I think he'll make the move. The Ferrari's not going to get as good traction on the outside. Well, it's still side by side right now. How aggressive will they take it? Oh, it looks like Charlotte's going to try to outbrake. No, can he hold on?
What a move!
He does! Well, wait a minute. McLaren's still there.
And Yona and David Charlton are still side by side, and goodness me, Yona just about comes off, but I've got to credit David Charlton there. What a defence! He nearly pulled off that move, and if he did, it would have been the overtake of the season by an absolute mile. But David, he had to fight that. 5 lap older tyres to Yona, and he fought as if he was on the same amount of tyres, if not fresher, set of inters. And David now has used up a bit of, has gained a bit of ERS advantage as well, and he'll be hoping to try and get this. The track is really not drying out at all. I'm watching Neymar. He's losing a lot of time as Neymar. Stay out on a set of inters, I think, is probably what the call is.
Yeah, but the question is, will those tires hold there at 25? It would be a dang shame if they punctured. But again, David Charlton's probably hoping for DRS or something, but as well. But it looks like it may be just too little, too late. I think that was the move of this race, and I think Yona is going to sail on ahead and cause that to finish. But Volvacon coming in, DRS has now been enabled. Probably 1 lap too early, and now David Carl's out of DRS range. So question mark dates. Probably not smart to pit if you're in that top blanket, though.
Can you imagine, though, how quick Neymar is going to be in the final 2 laps of this race?
Yeah, he is. Volvacon pitting as well. He's just coming out, so can he? He'll be, I think, 11, 12...
Easily ahead.
Yeah, easily ahead, but the question mark is, can Volvacon make range and catch Noisy. He's 14 back with 2 laps. Highly unlikely, but you never know if mistakes start making.
Given how this track might dry, though, I wouldn't put it past him, because Volakongan, now, 13.5 seconds away. Watch that time come down now to under 10 seconds, I think, by the end of this lap. Yona leading the way, has pulled away from David Charhood, and David really beginning to struggle in terms of his tyres, and in terms of, as well, him trying to get to the end of the race. Tibos there in third, Jorg there in fourth. Volakongan has closed 0.4 per second, but look at how gingerly they're now going through the hairpin. Volakongan can probably take that at full chat and try and make something of this race. It's going to be a bit like cat and mouse. It's going to be a bit like Tom and Jerry at this stage. Volakongan trying to get on the back of the likes of Yona. Track is drying out. Inters are still maintaining the grip levels, though.
Yeah, the Yellow Flag Sector 1, that is Honey Badger around. He's on a set of medium, so get it refired. Obviously, if Sector 1 not come out this late.
Jorg taking Matt Tibos down to the inside of turn 1, gets the job done. So Jorgensen into third. You can carry on with what you were saying.
I was just going to say, Honey Badger got it respawned there. No safety car going to be called here. But remember, York does have 3, so even if he gets third, he'll have to gain 3 on Tibos, or else it's kind of a mute point.
Yeah,
that's all I got left. Yeah.
Definitely so. I thought, honestly, you were going to say something more there. But Yona leads the way.
I was almost done when you interrupted, so I was like, I'll finish my sentence.
Oh, David Charles tyres. I'm on board with the rears, and they are absolutely shot. They are absolutely shot. If he gets to the end of this race, it'll be on literally a rim of that car. David Charles in second, Jorg there in third, and somehow he is still in second position. Is the Lebanese man. Volakongan has caught an advantage, but it's not enough. Everyone that gambled for that sort of soft compound of tyres, I think you're only going to be getting 6 downwards, possibly, in this race. Yona, though, has absolutely timed this right. He will go on to the final lap as the leader of the race. Not only that, he's going to be gaining on Jorg. Feren's down in 14th position, not even going to get any points. Yona now in the championship fight all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's a good chance that could be happening. We'll have to see how the map shakes out, but max points save for Yona at the very least. Jorg is currently still at Tibos. I don't think he'll catch Chaw, but even like I said, even if he does, 3 seconds, so Jorg may fall down to 4th, 5th, so Yona may have just caught lightning in a bottle. It's still going to be a Herculean's task to get ahead.
David Child's got a puncture, front right puncture, David Child puncture on the front right, and now Jorg is going to try and get the move done, and he does. So Jorgensen, he's into second, and now David Child is going to hold Matt Tibos up, coming through, and this could be the 3 seconds that Jorg so finally needs. And look at that, David Child is rolling roadblock, 2 seconds the gap, and now Noisy right on the back of this as well. They've got to watch out for Volakongan. Volakongan's only 7 seconds off the podium. Can he try and get something out of this? This will be insane if he can. Noisy and Matt Tibos are pretty much shoving each other through the chicane, and now they're going to go try side by side into the hairpin. The Red Bull and the AlphaTauri go side by side, and Noisy is through, but Matt Tibos is going to get the DRS, and that is going to be crucial as Noisy slides his way out of the hairpin. Yona, however, look at Volakongan catching. Volakongan is catching at both hand over fist. Tibos is not going to get Noisy, and Yona now around the final corner is going to take it easily to the line. Yona will win our first race of 2022. He is back and back with a bang. He wins in Canada. Jorg in second. Noisy will end up in third. Matt Tibos in fourth, and Volakongan will get fifth in the end. By as a result of the set of softs, to think as well, Volakongan, if he only had another 2 laps in this race, I think he would have won that.
I don't think he would have won it because remember, Yona's still 6 up the road from Noisy, so he definitely would have at least got up the second 2 more laps. I don't think he would have won, but definitely would have got podium for sure for Volakongan. But somebody else running, AlphaTauri, after I kind of questioned their strategy choice when they came in the safety car, 2 and 3, so made me eat my word or make me eat crow. So hat tipped AlphaTauri there at the very least.
Definitely so, but it is that man of the moment again, Yona, out on top. Is it his 3rd or 4th race win in a row? I'm going to have to check the podiums here in terms of the F2 standings. I will check. Yona has won the last 2 races that he has been here. Obviously in the Netherlands, now in Russia, and now in Canada. So 3 in a row. There's actually a drag race to the line. Honey Badger tries to get Jonas, but I think with the penalties, I think Honey Badger falls in behind Jonas once again. But that's Jonas' 3rd win in a row, carrying on that really good form, of course, that he left 2021 in. Driver of the day awarded by the in-game fans. Matt Tibos, yeah, I think, honestly, best performance of the season by an absolute mile for Matt Tibos.
Yeah, great performance as well from him as well. David Shaw didn't pop a puncture there. I definitely say he would have been my driver of the day, but I still think that defense move he had on Yona, he was fighting for all of it, maybe cost him his chance at second, but was definitely fun to watch. And it's a Dutch 1-2-3 here, so all Dutch supremacy here in Canada.
Yeah, Dutch supremacy indeed in Canada, and to the top step of the podium goes Yona once again. Formerly NRX Yona, now in the QRT team, an absolute dominant victory in the end. He had to do it the hard way though, but David Charwood really pressing him in the final couple of laps. But it is a Dutch 1-2-3, it is Yona out on top, pole position, fastest lap, race win. I think he'll take that every day of the week. Noisy in second, Yog in third, and compared to Noisy and Yog, just look at how quick Yona's fastest lap was. It was 5 tenths quicker than Noisy, more than a second quicker than Yog. That guy's got serious pace. Matt Tibos in 4th, Volakongan in 5th, David Charwood in 6th, Nathan Clark in 7th, Neymar in 8th, Break FN in 9th, Tom ran off the top 10, Frankie Fro in 11th, Jonas in 12th, Honey Badger 13th. They all finish under their own accord. Ference there in 14th doesn't finish under his own accord. He finishes a ghost, so he doesn't pick up any points. Nicholas, Taze Leroy and Pyro rounding off the drivers. Now, unfortunately, he didn't finish the 3 that didn't finish there. But to the top step of the podium is Yona. I know we've got Noisy already in the commentary box. Hopefully, though, we'll be able to get the man of the moment in. But Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. Your overall thoughts of what I thought was pretty much like a 2011 race around here.
It was a very chaotic race. I don't think it was the best race this season. Still a good race to watch indeed. If you're an AlphaTauri fan, you definitely were cheering from the stands. But it was a fun race to watch. It was pretty good to see. Yona had a good performance. It looked like he was down a little bit at the end, but came back strong. And my heart breaks for David Shaw. It looked like it was going to work, and he was kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place, and ends up finishing 6th when it looked like with 2 laps remaining he was going to get a second. So a bit of a teeth kick moment, but overall a fun race to watch.
Yeah, really fun race to watch, and obviously fun race to get back into the groove too, I think, as well, in terms of our first commentary together in 2022, my second commentary actually of the new year, your second commentary I think as well, Pepsi, after CWC, and I think honestly we've left 2021 where we've left 2021 and getting into 2022 where we left off, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Menno coming in the comment section, by the way, saying goat Noisy, goat York, so clearly an AlphaTauri fan there. Noisy, I think we'll probably answer that in just a second. Hopefully we will be able to get Yona in though. Hopefully we will. He normally joins when I'm commentating, I hope, but we'll see.
I added him. I made sure I added him like a couple weeks ago, so he's in, so he can join anytime he pleases.
I'll see what the fallout is on Discord as well in terms of the racing. Matt Tibble saying he can't buy a podium in this league, which I think is absolutely right. He was very unlucky tonight, but drove an absolute phenomenal race. And Yona saying that was some. Can I say the swear word? I don't think I can.
You
but
that
was some good racing.
Yeah.
And now we're joined by Yona, in fact. P1, once again, 3rd win in a row. You have started 22... I can't even get my words out. 2022, my friend, like you left 2021, in terms of a win.
You're damn right I did.
Talk us through it, though, because obviously, changeable conditions and a changeable race.
Yeah. You want to hear the full story? Just go where we left off, you know? Just ask me one question and I'll tell you the whole race.
Can do.
Alright, I'll get my random fact of the day ready.
Yeah, no, you can ask a question as well, Pepsi, if you want. No, okay. Okay, I'll begin with qualifying, of course, that's the first. Went good. Got pole. I was amazed, or not amazed, that's not the right word. When I was done, I went to the pits. I went real quick to the toilet, and when I came back, I saw that it was done, and I was 3 tenths clear. So that gave me a very good feeling in the race. Before the race, and at the start, I got a good start. Got the inside line for turn 1, so that's you can cut off P2, and trying to drive away. Which I managed to do pretty fast, but then came the first obstacle of the race, the first safety car. I was not sure what to do, and that was clear, I think, to see, because I stayed out, not sure what to do. I think the best decision was to pit to the inters, eventually. But well, you know that part of the race how it went. But then I got saved by the second safety car, basically, and the field got punched up again. And I hope you guys saw it. I did some overtakes, which, I just don't know how. At some point I was like, I didn't know where I got the pace from, you know. I was just like pushing the guys in front of me to the max to make either make a mistake or make them defend hard and try to get past, which I managed to do. And towards the end, I was debating with my engineer what it was gonna be. Is am I gonna stop to the slick tires or not? We made the decision to stay out, and that was the right one. I think at the end. So I did a one stop, and my inters were almost 75% at the rear at the end, and like 65 at the front. So they were close to dead. But they managed to give me my third win in a row, I guess.
Yeah, third win in a row, and I think
you won Hungary, and then you won the next two. So yeah, that is your third win in a row. So you are correct.
So fourth win of the season, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No, three.
No,
He's got
three.
First race was Hungary, and he finished podium, and then the next three he won.
No, before.
So.
Before.
Yeah. I should really remember that instead of looking at the graphics, honestly. But talk us through that final couple of laps, because obviously David Charhold was there pretty much as a rolling roadblock, but he fought very, very good, I've got to say, in terms of that battle. Talk us through it.
Well, I got a bit scared because I got the run on him out of the Wall of Champions, and he went defensive, very obviously, over the start finish, and then I went for the outside, obviously, and he just came across, and I was with my right hand tires. I was I think just on the grass, but it was very uncomfortable for me. But I managed to keep the nose in and keep the inside for the next corner, and the inside for the corner after that. And it was a lovely little battle. And I came out ahead, which was very important for me to create more of a gap and some breathing room, and eventually to stay out like anyone else. And go on and win the race. But it was a very good battle. But I mean the moment he came across, it was just very scary for me. And if it went wrong, I mean I couldn't say that was my fault. I think, but just imagination.
Blame it on the engineer if it went wrong. Blame it on the engineer. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
I was doing the math while you were talking there. The gap is now down from you to Fairness, even though his very poor day here, no points.
65 points.
You are correct. It is 65 points. Good math job there. I was doing the calculations like it's 65, and he's like, I already know my numbers. I'm good. He knows the target and how many he needed.
I did it already, like a couple minutes ago. But
gap is down from you to 65, and for Jorg, it's 51. And again, it's going to be a hurt. He can't clinch it next week unless he's max points, and then let's say Jorg ends up having a poor day. But the point still stands, though, is that it's Herculean to catch up. But again, we didn't think Fairness would have such a bad round of Canada. So I guess, what's your plan going forward for the next 3 races?
How many races do we still got? Like
three
races. So
this was round 7, so 8, 9, and 10. So
that is 108 points in total to gain, like full.
Well, if you max points everything, it would be 30, 60, 90, and then 3. So it'd be 93 points total. So you'd have to hope for 3 perfect rounds and hope Fairness ends up maybe crashing out one of those rounds.
P1 is 35 points, right?
No, it's 31. It's 30 for max. Okay. Oh, is it 1? I thought it was 1 for bonus. But the point still stands. I know it's, I think, 91 points max. 93 points max you can get for the next 3, and you have to get 66 to 93 is a big ask.
Yeah, I think to be realistic, I gotta aim for a podium position at the end. I think that's the more realistic objective. But you mean ultimately, of course, I'm gonna go for P1, but I gotta be realistic. So I'd say.
Yeah, well, actually, we do have a sprint race next week, so just point that out. Next week is the sprint race in France.
Oh, yeah, so
then we got Mexico.
He is right with 108 points.
So yeah, his math was right. My mistake. Sorry for the sprint race. So yeah, you're correct. I was like, how did he get the math right?
No, but also the first place gets 35.
No, 30 gets 30 and then 1. No, I checked the point standings before I said that. So yeah, it's 31, but sprint race. So
okay, but then I got the math correct, but with the wrong formula. So
yes, I don't know how you did that, but congratulations. You showed how I did through my SATs.
Yeah. Cheers. So next week France. Yeah, man. I mean, no, I hope no penalties again. Then it will be a good race. I think I would. I mean, FRL was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. What was it? 3 weeks ago. We go with that. That was good.
It was.
I was talking to James because
it was good too. I may not have it, but I can say it was good.
I wasn't there, but it was good.
You were
I heard
there,
it was
right?
good through the pipeline.
No, I wasn't.
No, you wasn't. Oh, that's right. you did watch, right? You did watch, right? Or no?
I did watch. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So technically you were there. Okay.
I was, but just in spirit.
Yeah. Okay. It was a good race, France, for me. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, you got France. And also, I just want to say with the logistics, if this was an actual logistic track thing, who decided to put Canada and then France, Mexico? It should be Canada, Mexico, France, but that's neither here nor there. But still, good performance there, Yona. And again, it's Herculean task, but who never knows? You may be able to be the one that stops Fairness's reign of dominance.
Who knows? Well, for the past races, I did. But for in the standings, who knows? Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows indeed. Go and enjoy your evening, though, Yona.
Yeah, you too, mate. Cheers. Thanks for comms, as always.
Very welcome indeed, albeit a little bit croaky now, I think, after that race. We'll now move on, of course, to our other man that we've got in the commentary box with us, finishing in P2 in the end of this, Noisy. It's been a while, Noisy, since you're on the podium. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it's been all over the place this season. I just didn't have the confidence in the car, and I just couldn't find it. Made way too many mistakes. Even this race, I made mistakes. But yeah, this is really a good confidence booster to finally get on the podium and score some good points since a while.
Yeah, it's a massive confidence booster. Talk us through, though, I think it was the second safety car. Both you and Jorg pitted in for a set of, I think it was intermediate compounded tyres. Yeah. Talk us through that strategy, because obviously you thought that the tyres were going to get to the end from that point.
Yeah, we for the first safety car we thought maybe we had nothing to lose, so we just stayed out on the dries to try something. Then the dries were faster, but then the inters were faster. We just pitted, and we were one lap on those inters, but we were last anyway. So I said to Jorg, pit, because then we have those little percentage can make such a big difference in the end. And it turned out in the end, just that little bit extra percentage tires we still had, because we pitted again, we had more pace at the end when it was all dry. So yeah, it was more of a strategic. So more strategic.
Strategic.
Yeah. You know, yeah. And yeah, it worked out in the end. So yeah, very good call by my engineer, aka myself.
Yeah, it did work out in the end, and obviously you gained points in terms of Alfa Romeo. Ference didn't even finish the race, so he didn't pick up any points for the Alfa Romeo team. Just talk us through how consistent you've been so far this season as a unit compared to obviously the Alfa Romeo team, who were still, I think, ahead of you in the constructor standings.
Well, consistency is for me far to see. It has so far mostly been Jorg who's been carrying, to be honest, the constructors, but we do it together. Me and Jorg just have a very good relation. We can work together very good. As we had 2 seasons ago in the final race in Singapore, we worked together. Also this race, in qualifying, I gave Jorg a little tow, which did help him get a better banker, so he could push more. And in the end, it gained him 2 positions or something. That's really, I think, the key in me and Jorg together. that we can work together very well. And I think I did some calculations. I think we're like maybe 10 points or something in front of Alpha after this race. So yeah, mostly for us the main goal is constructors, and especially for me since drivers is just out of the way already.
Yeah, definitely so, and hopefully that consistency will be key to your season going forward, and hopefully it'll be more consistent than Olav Moll and Ziggle Sport going forward in F1. But there we are. Pepsi, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
I was going to say, I was doing the math there, knowing just what the AlphaTauri scored going against knowing Fairness got 0, it was 10, but then I got to take Nathan's points into consideration. I don't know how much I don't remember where he finished, so I think it may be a wash, maybe slightly
7th.
favorite. 7th, so yeah, no, it would still be Alfa Romeo ahead. That's fine,
yeah,
both
but,
Alphas, 1-2. But, not to discourage you, but you've closed the gap quite much, so it's still going to be a fight. But going into these last 3 tracks, what is your favorite track out of these 3 that you think will be the best chance to score more points than the Alfa Romeos?
No, Rally is the full time for the Alphas, and Nathan is a reserve, so he doesn't get the constructor points.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. That is true.
Yeah.
I guess that is true.
No, but for
So, yeah,
me and York,
I guess you're leading. Yeah, you and York, or I guess what is the next remaining 3 tracks of France, Mexico, and Singapore, what do you think is your best track out of those 3 for you and York to get max points?
for myself, it's gonna be Mexico. I've done like also the 24-hour race there recently. I finished pretty good against all like PSGO F1 drivers. So yeah, I got a lot of confidence in Mexico, as I've always had. But yeah, I don't know. Me and York are always like pretty similar on pace, so I think like Mexico or maybe even Singapore, because of the teamwork that's pretty important at Singapore. So yeah, I'm going with Mexico, Singapore. Like France, yeah, it's not gonna be bad, but I think we have the biggest chances in Mexico as a whole.
Honestly, you're one of the first people I've said that said Singapore is probably one of their favorite tracks to have the best result. It usually seems like it's the opposite effect. But yeah, so Mexico and Singapore, quite interesting to see. And with, like I said, Jorg not out of championship contention by a long shot, but needs a Herculean task, it's definitely still all to play for. So, like I said, I wish you both a luck in your journey, and maybe we'll see you here next week.
Yes. Have a good night.
Will do indeed, and that marks the end of tonight's live stream here in TTML F1. We really hope, of course, if you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new. More action to come tomorrow night. I am delighted to say that, luckily for you, for F4, you'll be having me in the commentary box tomorrow, alongside Funky Chicken for F4 and F5, of course, obviously with Pariah and Buck taking you through the action tomorrow night, both at 8 PM UK time. So if you do want to tune in and listen to a bit of northern commentary, certainly for F4, and Norwegian commentary for F5, you can tune in for that as well. And then we do have TTML F4, myself and Luke Etheridge. Hopefully Luke will be there, I know, with a recent positive COVID test. Hopefully Luke is recovering well, and hopefully it's not too serious at all in terms of his recent COVID test. Hopefully he'll be alongside me for 7 PM UK time, of course, on Sunday evening. And then CWC starts next week. We've got TTML GT, and we've got also the grand final of the EML Qualifying Cup, which of course took place last night. And congratulations to the 10 teams that took part in that. Myself and Luke Etheridge will be taking you through, of course, that next Wednesday at 8 PM UK time. But that is it for myself and Pepsi. Pepsi, final thoughts, driver of the day.
Driver of the day, I want to give it to David Shaw because he did such a good job making those tires laugh, but sadly he only got 6. So instead, I'm going to tip my hat to... You know, I'm going to give it to Noisy. Got to podium, was kind of average for the last couple rounds, so good to see him back on the podium. I'm going to give him my driver of the day for him there.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think Noisy drove an absolute solid race. Certainly from his mistake, I think it was on lap 1 or 2 I was on board with, and he made a mistake, and I thought, yeah, he's probably not going to be ending up towards the top end of the field, but... prove me wrong completely, and Noisy gets my driver of the day as well. Big shout out to Matt Tibos as well. I know he didn't get a podium, but certainly his best driver of the season, and hopefully he can carry on his really good form from tonight. And that marks the end, the official end of the stream. From myself, from Pepsi, from everyone else here, please take care of yourselves in this crazy world that we live in, and until next time, goodbye.